Assassin's Creed Shadows. I actually finished this game months ago, but never got around to making a video on it because I've struggled to properly articulate my feelings on it. Even now, it's a bit hard to describe. I would say cautiously optimistic was my mindset going into this game. Most of what Ubisoft was promoting before release looked pretty good. While it was still an open world RPG, I thought the improved stealth, parkour, and a really cool setting could make the game enjoyable enough to not be bothered by the rather tired format Assassin's Creed has been followed by these past couple of years. Unfortunately for me, Assassin's Creed Shadows is another in a long list of disappointments from the series I once loved. Assassin's Creed Shadows has you following dual protagonists, Naoe and Yasuke. The prologue starts out introducing Yasuke and showing how he ends up joining Oda Nobunaga's army. The story quickly switches to Naoe as her home in Iga is destroyed by Yasuke and the rest of Nobunaga's forces. Naoe narrowly escapes with her father and the relic that her clan was sworn to protect. Unfortunately, they're caught by mysterious masked warriors called the Shinbakufu. They kill Naoe's father, steal the relic, and leave her for dead. Having lost her father, her village, and the relic, Naoe goes on a quest for revenge to destroy the groups who ruined her life. And then, the prologue just keeps going. You play as Naoe for what feels like forever, doing quests, running around the world, and taking out targets. I played as Naoe for almost 20 hours before I saw Yasuke again. Much of the main story is kind of a slog too. You assassinate target after target with lots of uninteresting and tropey cutscenes in between. The cast of villains and teammates is pretty forgettable, minus a few standouts. For the short amount of time that Oda Nobunaga is in the game, he makes a great impression, and had most of the coolest moments in the story. Lady Oichi's story of following her familiar duties to the Oda clan while fighting her feelings for Yasuke was pretty compelling as well. In Genojo, well, Genojo was funny. The story tries to play with themes like what it means to be an honorable warrior and how to end the cycle of revenge, but they ring hollow when you have to kill the people who Naoe and Yasuke actively want revenge against. You also can't exactly be an honorable warrior when you're an assassin who sneaks in the dark and stabs people in the back. I will say around mid to late game it does start to pick up, specifically during Naoe and Yasuke's character quests. There's actually a lot of effort put into developing their backstories, and when I got to the last few parts of their quest lines, I was on the edge of my seat. And then, the game just ends. There's no real feeling of finality, no conclusion. Right when things start building towards the true villain in what seems to be the final chapter of the game, the credits roll. It's super disappointing. I know since the series made its change to RPGs, the Assassin's Creed games have become platforms for DLC, but for a game with so much writing on it, not just the series, but the dev team, I can't believe the way this game ends. It feels like such a spit in the face to everyone who played through the largely forgettable story just to reach the end and basically get a big advertisement for the season pass. Also, the trophies glitched, so I didn't get the last two story trophies, which is probably part of the reason why I didn't realize that I had already reached the last chapter of the game. Regardless of that though, the game still fails to build to a satisfying conclusion. Even after beating the Shinbakufu, it felt like they were just puppets for a larger villain that would never arrive. That brings me to the modern day story. What has happened to the series, man? It's just cryptic nonsense. By the time I finished the game, I only saw like 2 cutscenes about what was happening in the modern day, and I didn't understand any of it. I think in one of them they were talking about Naoe's mom. I don't really know. It was just random words with no context, no stakes, nothing. You don't even play as a character during those missions. You're just this weird polygonal animus dude. When I finished the game, I realized the reason I hadn't seen so much modern day stuff was because it was all a side quest. That's right. What was once one of the most interesting parts of the Assassin's Creed series was now relegated to a lame side quest. Let's stop talking about the story. I'm getting too worked up. So in Assassin's Creed Shadows, the gameplay is split between Naoe and Yasuke. Naoe is built for speed and stealthy encounters, while Yasuke is more of a brute meant for attacking enemies directly. Because of their differing playstyles, you're meant to switch between the two characters depending on the gameplay scenario at hand. The problem is, you're discouraged from using Yasuke for most of the game's activities. He can't climb, can't use eagle vision, and can't interact with most of the stealth options. So most of the time you'll be playing as Naoe to move around the map, gather collectibles, and do parkour puzzles. The only times you'll want to swap to Yasuke is if you want to go guns blazing when you're invading one of the many same looking castles that litter the map. So if Yasuke was a big draw for you in this game, unfortunately you won't be playing as him nearly as much as you thought you would. Or at least, that's how it was for me. This brings me to probably my biggest complaint about this game. Everything is as drawn out and tedious as possible. Before you can assassinate a target, you have to complete multiple submissions tied to that target. This is particularly annoying because mission objectives and targets are almost never next to each other. They're all spread across a huge map, usually in an unexplored area, so you can't fast travel there. This means you're either running or riding your horse between locations for ages in this game. Along the way between mission objectives, you can fight bandits, save villagers, unlock map markers, but it all starts blending together. The most enjoyable open world activities for me were the tombs and the parkour courses. Before you reach your mission location, you can deploy scouts on the map to narrow down the search area and give you clues as to where your target is or where the person you're supposed to talk to is. This is a cool idea in theory, but the scouts usually just give vague clues like next to the fish market or south of the blacksmith. I remember one time I followed my clues, but the area had multiple NPCs to talk to who fit the description of the clues. So I ended up walking around aimlessly talking to everyone until I found the person I needed. Eventually I just turned the feature off because it didn't really add anything to the experience other than padding out missions. Combat's okay. There are light, heavy, and skill attacks with a parry and dodge roll in there for defensive maneuvers. It's well animated and can look brutal, especially some of the skills, but this too feels drawn out. Enemies are damage sponges who soak up all your attacks. The game plan is to land perfect parries to deal damage to their posture meter, which works fine on the grunts, but some of the stronger enemies take a ton of hits before you can finally break their posture. In past Assassin's Creed games, part of the fun of combat was countering your enemy's attacks to quickly kill them, then move on to the next. It wasn't complex nor difficult, but it was smooth and allowed you to get back to stealth quickly. In Shadows, you're just getting bodied by enemies or swinging for an eternity. It's especially weird for Yasuke. He's a hulking brute, and while he does dispatch of enemies much faster than Naoe does, I still found myself in combat situations swinging on enemies for much longer than I desired. Parkour is still too sticky and lacks agency. You fall off of things you didn't mean to and make giant leaps between constructs. Controlled descent is particularly bad here. A lot of times Naoe will just do a flip off of whatever cliff you're trying to go down because most of the geometry in the game wasn't really designed to be climbed. Despite parkour being a letdown, I will say stealth is much improved in this game. You have a lot of options like crawling under floorboards, turning off lights, and being able to go prone to stay out of sight, especially if you turn up the difficulty. The enemy search AI improves along with their damage, so it's vital to use everything at your disposal to remain out of sight. I'd recommend this along with turning on the hidden blade assassinations for a really fun stealth experience. Speaking of weapons, this game does have a gear system. It's the usual blue, green, purple, gold system you see in a lot of games these days. You can add mods to your armor and weapons. It's supposed to give you a level of customization that allows you to make different builds based on armor and weapon sets, but none of the mods felt very distinct. Usually just big number equals better stats. Only time I really noticed anything was when a weapon had poison damage. Assassin's Creed Shadows is a looker though. As I said earlier, fight animations look great, but the environments are stellar here. There's a system that changes the seasons every couple of missions you do, so you get to see Japan in all its glory, from the falling snow to sakura petals floating in the air. It's really beautiful. Character models look great too. I always found myself looking at Naoe's hair a lot during the cutscenes because it looked like each individual strand of hair was modeled and flowed in the wind naturally. The game runs pretty smooth on performance mode too. The only exception is when you go to the hideout. The frame rate drops to like 30 FPS. Then when you start a cutscene it magically goes back to 60. It's super jarring. So that's it. I really did want to like Assassin's Creed Shadows. I can't lie and say I had no fun playing the game, but the short bursts of enjoyment were interrupted by an unsatisfying story, annoying design choices, and tedious gameplay. I don't hate Assassin's Creed Shadows. I did finish the game, which I haven't done since Assassin's Creed Origins. That's gotta count for something. Despite my frustrations, I am tentatively looking forward to Assassin's Creed Hexa, or Hexe, however you want to say it. From what we know now, it's planned to be a more linear game focused on the witch trials. With a darker and perhaps more horror-esque tone, it could be interesting. What do you guys think? Did you like Assassin's Creed Shadows? Looking forward to Hexe? Let me know down in the comments. Until then, sleep tight everybody. I know I will.